I went blind on purpose, but I don't feel it was a choice.
For most people, going blind would be a nightmare. But for Jewel Chouping, it was the fulfillment of a lifelong dream. She suffers from a rare condition called body integrity identity disorder, which led her to deliberately take her own sight.
When there's nobody around you that feels the same way, you start to think that you're just very crazy. I don't think I'm crazy. I think I have a disorder. BIID means that you have a need to be disabled in some way. In my case, it was a need to go blind.
9 years ago, Jewel took the drastic decision to blind herself, and she researched the method she would use.
I found that lye is very painful, although it does get the job done. I found that drain cleaner is a little less painful, although it does a lot of damage to the eye. Because drain cleaner was easily available to me, I went with that.
She found a psychologist willing to help her, and after 2 weeks of working together to make sure she was ready, they carried out Jewel's plan.
I laid down on the sofa and he sat next to me. Dropped 2 drops into each eye. My eyes were screaming. I had some drain cleaner going down my cheek, burning my skin. In the moment, all I could think of was, I'm going blind, it's going to be okay.
After waiting half an hour to make sure the damage was done, the psychologist took Jewel to hospital, where doctors fought to save her sight.
When I woke up the following day, I was joyful until I turned on my back, opened my eyes, and could see the TV screen. I was so enraged, and I thought that it hadn't worked. Then over about 6 months, the sight in both eyes slowly went away. I was so happy. I felt that this was who I was supposed to be.
While Jewel was happy, her actions cost her her relationship with her family. But this was something she'd been building up to throughout her life.
I first developed the idea that I need to be blind when I was around 6 years old. I was told by my mother that if I looked into the sun, I'd go blind, and so I stared into the sun for hours on end. Thinking about being blind made me feel comfortable. I was blind simming, which is pretending to be blind. Becoming blind was definitely a difficult decision to make. I tried to avoid it, but it kept coming up in my head. And by the time I was 21, it was a non-stop alarm that was going off.
As extreme as Jewel's case sounds, she is not alone. Dr. Michael First is a leading expert on the condition. He even coined the term BIID to describe it.
A lot of people who have this just live with it, but they don't take that step of actually actualizing it. But a significant minority of people with this have the feeling so strongly that they will go and do something to make it happen. Our job is to reduce suffering however it's possible. The question is, what can be done? People have tried therapy, they've tried medication. None of those have really been successful. The ethics of whether it is okay to take a normal person and make them disabled is, I think you could make it an ethical case that if you conceptualize this as treating a condition, then it's okay to do it. The big fear, of course, is somebody goes ahead and gets an amputation and becomes disabled and then changes their mind. I'd like to encourage people to do what makes sense to make them feel better, but this is such a drastic move that it's hard to encourage.
Initially apprehensive, Jewel has now told her friends in the blind community about how she took her own sight.
I told her that I didn't care, that I think there's no resentment for her voluntarily taking her eyesight. That's not who I am.
I just don't think I've ever known anyone who had that condition. I think there's a lot understood in the medical community, but I'm sure that by what happened to you, it will be helpful to somebody else.
Hey, Joel. How's it going?
Oh, hi, Alan. Does this affect our friendship at all?
No, actually, I want to thank you for sharing it with me. I think it's a really inspiring story, actually, because you've overcome a lot here. You're a very positive person. You contribute a lot to the blind community, and I think that's a great thing.
Now, Jewel hopes her story will help other people in her position and lead to a wider understanding of BIID.
These days, I have no regrets. I'm very happy as a blind person. If somebody's out there with the same feelings as I have, I would say don't go blind the way I did. I know there's a need, but perhaps someday there'll be treatment for it. And just wait for that treatment if you can. If you feel that you have to, at least talk to a psychiatrist. Try to get somebody who knows what they're doing to help you. Don't do it for yourself because it's dangerous. That's why I'm getting my story out there, to help people understand BIID and what it is and what is not.